By early 2026, rising controversy surrounds Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, moving beyond earlier headlines into more serious accusations of manipulation. Reports claim that several young men who sought mentorship from them later experienced personal and professional setbacks. The most notable figure is actor Bryshere Gray, once a breakout star on the popular series Empire. Sources allege that his time under Smith's guidance left him emotionally shaken, pushing his life into turmoil. Claims suggest he was taken advantage of and treated as expendable within influential circles before eventually being discarded. It is further claimed that Bryshere Gray developed genuine feelings for his mentor, viewing Will Smith as someone who would support and protect him. However, according to these reports, the situation shifted when Gray attempted to step away and rebuild his career on his own terms. Allegations indicate that Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith then leveraged their influence to quietly limit his opportunities in Hollywood. Doors that once seemed open reportedly shut quickly. Now, with little remaining to lose, Gray is said to be preparing a $50 million lawsuit revealing details that are beginning to draw significant media attention. Watching Bryshere Gray's transformation over the last few years has been one of the most jarring public downfalls in recent memory. When his time on the hit show Empire wrapped up, his career trajectory became a source of endless speculation and controversy. Hollywood heavyweights, including Will Smith himself, publicly championed him, promising to elevate his career. It seemed like a guaranteed path to A-list stardom, but somewhere along the line, the narrative flipped. Reports of erratic behavior started to surface. Whispers of being blackballed grew louder, and his career path took a hard turn from the red carpet to the far corners of the internet. The advice from those who remember him from his Empire days is simple. Do not, under any circumstances, look at his current social media activity. For a while, Bryshere's name faded from the mainstream conversation. It likely would have stayed that way, lost to the chaos of celebrity news cycles. But then, the walls started closing in on Will Smith. First came a lawsuit from his former violinist, Brian Scott Joseph. In his legal filing, Brian detailed an increasingly unsettling dynamic with Will. He claims that during Will's 2024 tour, the superstar began singling him out, telling him, "You and I have such a special connection that I don't have with anyone else." The situation allegedly escalated in March of 2025. Brian reported that his belongings, including his hotel key, went missing for hours. Later that night, he discovered someone had entered his room, leaving behind items that weren't his, specifically wipes and a bottle of HIV medication with another person's name on it. The note left behind read, "Brian, I'll be back no later." Just as signed, Stone F. Brian interpreted this as a terrifying warning that someone intended to return and force him into a sexual encounter. He feared for his safety, but when he reported the incident to Will's team, instead of receiving support, he claims he was shamed, ridiculed, and ultimately fired. This is the core of his lawsuit, the retaliation for reporting a legitimate safety threat and sexual harassment in the workplace. Now, while Brian's case might face an uphill battle proving the harassment claims, it's Bryshere Gray who has emerged with what some are calling the receipts. The picture becomes even clearer with the testimony of someone from the inner circle, Will Smith's former best friend and assistant of 40 years, a man known as Brother Bilal. Bilal has been going on record, painting a damning picture of how the Smiths allegedly operated. He claims that Will used the promise of mentorship as a lure for young, ambitious actors. Bryshere took the bait, but Bilal alleges it wasn't long before the young actor realized the price of admission was much higher than just memorizing lines. He claims Bryshere was being invited to exclusive parties, the kind of parties that have become synonymous with the name Sean Diddy Combs. Whenever Bryshere allegedly questioned why he had to participate, he was reportedly told that this was simply paying his dues to earn a seat at the table. Brother Bilal's account gets intensely personal. He was the one sent by Will to Chicago to look after Bryshere while he was working. He described witnessing Bryshere's rapid descent into chaos. He was acting erratically, getting into trouble with the law, and engaging in self-destructive behavior. He was desperate to understand what had broken this promising young man. Then one day, in a moment of raw, painful honesty, Bryshere broke down. According to he, Bryshere confessed, "You know what happened? You know that Will raped me? You know that Diddy sexually assaulted me? And you know Charlie Mack made me suck his private part?" He was stunned. He had no idea. Bryshere was in a corner, sobbing uncontrollably with blood coming from his nose from the sheer stress of the confession, begging he not to tell anyone. This confession confession was the key that unlocked everything. When he confronted Will about it, he claims Will admitted to having sex with Bryshere, but Will framed it as consensual. He told Will that Bryshere had asked him to stop during the act, but that Will said he finished and then stopped. For Bilal, and for anyone listening, the definition of sexual assault is clear. When a person withdraws consent, the act must stop immediately. Will's own admission, according to Bilal, confirms that it was not consensual. After this, he claims that Will and his longtime manager, Charlie Mack, tried to get Bryshere to sign an NDA. They even sent a lawyer to to get him under one as well. He refused. The proposed NDA, he says, was mutual, meaning Bryshere couldn't talk about what Will and Diddy allegedly did to him, and he couldn't talk either. The goal was simple: silence. His response was a firm no. He had no pre-existing NDA with Will, and he wasn't about to sign one now. It was only when Bryshere's behavior became too erratic, too public, and too much of a liability that Will and Jada allegedly cut him loose completely. They discarded him, fearful that his downward spiral would damage their pristine brand. This pattern of using and discarding young men is the core of the growing storm, and while many might have dismissed Bryshere's story as a money grab, the backing of brother Bilal, a man with 4 decades of history with Will, gives the allegations a terrifying weight. Bilal went on the record with Tasha K and other platforms, stating emphatically that he witnessed the aftermath and heard the confessions firsthand. He claims he was even present when Will and Charlie Mack came to his apartment to discuss this new guy they were mentoring, the guy who was supposed to star in a potential Fresh Prince reboot. Will asked he to go to Chicago and keep an eye on him, guaranteeing him double whatever was in his bank account at the time. Bilal accepted, but what he found in Chicago was a young man already coming apart at the seams. He wasn't just partying, he was reportedly engaging in behavior that suggested a profound mental break. It was only after Bryshere's tearful confession that the pieces of the puzzle finally clicked into place. He realized that the promises Will had made were just currency to buy Bryshere's participation in something far more sinister. And it wasn't just Will. He has made other shocking claims, alleging he saw Will with another celebrity in a compromising position. But the through line in all his stories is the same: the systematic grooming and exploitation of young men who trusted Will Smith. He claims that at one point Will and Jada's team tried to pay him off. They offered him a significant sum of money, but he, calling it devil money, refused. He reasoned that if he was really just trying to extort them for cash, he would have taken the offer. His refusal to take their money, to him, proves his story is about truth, not profit. He knew that taking that hush money would have been his downfall morally and spiritually, so he walked away and chose to speak. For Bryshere Gray, the cost of chasing a Hollywood dream was his entire identity. He went from being a rising star to someone whose name is now tied to a scandal that threatens to topple one of the industry's most beloved figures. The backing of brother Bilal turns Bryshere's allegations from a single desperate voice into a chorus of accusations that Hollywood and the world can no longer ignore. But the question remains for all of us watching this unfold: where is the line between mentorship and manipulation? When do the secrets of the elite become the crimes of the powerful? Sound off in the comments below. And before you go, make sure you hit that like button to join the conversation and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a single update on this developing story. I'll see you in the next video.